Hey, what's going on, Jasper Nation? Austin Distal here. And if you are an enterprise customer looking at how to scale your content production, or you're an agency that is looking at how to make Jasper more efficient with content written by AI and writers around the world, then this is the training for you. On this call here, joining me is Maddie, the co-founder of Content.ai, and she's joined by the CEO, Osama, who's out in Pakistan and really manages the whole show. Welcome to the training here, you all.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited for this call, and I know that our customers are as well. There's a lot of reasons to try and scale up content with freelance writers and AI paired together. One, it's much more efficient. Your output is outstanding and the quality is really good. But in this lesson, we're going to talk a lot about outside of the tool even. What are the operations and processes on how Rocket Content has been able to scale to millions of words per month output written for blog posts, social media posts, and things like that. So let me kind of break down here some of the lessons that you'll learn in this training. So Maddie and Osama are going to talk about how they onboard new customers, making this a really efficient process going forward for all their clients. How did they do keyword research and sharing some of the tools and methods. They're going to talk about how to leverage the content that Jasper writes and how to train their writers on how to make sure that they get the highest output from Jasper. So as little editing is required as possible. There's some SOPs in there and some really cool recipes that they use. They're also going to share how do they measure the quality and make sure that they have like quantitative results using Surfer SEO and MarketMuse scores, of course, paired with Grammarly and Copyscape. All of these tools together really make a fantastic content engine. Then also, what is the SOP, the standard operating procedure for publishing a blog post? And so they're going to share that checklist. And lastly, they're going to talk about how to track your content production's output in a spreadsheet so you can see your progress over time. So that's a lot to handle here in this training. So expect this to go for like 60 to 90 minutes, but it will absolutely be worth it if you truly believe that content is king and you will create a very big moat, both in a competitive landscape and adding a diversification in your traffic, now bringing in a large amount of qualified, high intent traffic to your website via blog posts. So that's a mouthful there, but this is what we're getting into. And so I'm going to pass it over now to Maddie, the co-founder of Rocket Content. And by the way, at the end of all of this, if you just throw your hands up in the air and you're like, I don't need to do all of this myself, maybe this is a lot to handle, that's where Rocket Content can come and play. Today, they're offering 15% discount for all Jasper users who go to rocketcontent.ai and use the promo code Jasper. You'll get 15% off. They're an awesome agency and an enterprise customer of Jasper. And so we really trust them and love the process that they've built out. So that's why we brought them on today's call. I'll pass it over here to Maddie and let's get into the training.
Hey, all right. So I'm going to be totally honest. I'm going to pass the training piece off to Osama. I'm just here to like introduce the business and talk about some of the background and how we came to life. And yeah, so basically, we have a long history of running content agencies, and so we have Content Refined, which is sort of our bread and butter baby, and we use professional writers and a very robust editorial system for that business. But we knew that AI was going to disrupt our business at some point. And we knew that it was going to compete at some point. And so, you know, if you can't beat them, you join them. And So we really, really made sure that AI was going to be part of our business development plan moving forward, whether that was going to be like incorporating it within Content Refined or creating a whole other business around it. And so clearly we've done the latter there, and we've created a full additional arm and a brand new business around AI. And like we knew that it was getting better and better. Like Jasper has been on our radar for a very long time, and we've been using it, and we know that it's getting better and it's producing better quality outputs. And so, yeah, basically we were like, how are we going to leverage this tool to create really great content that ranks on page 1 of Google? So that's what we did. And it was like a 4-month testing process against some of our own websites. And what we did was we picked like a few of our neglected sites that we had sitting around in our portfolio. And we were like, hey, okay, we'll dedicate 4 months of like a really solid effort to try to revive these sites and see what happens and create a process around it. So we did a lot of testing and came up with a pretty awesome process that we essentially put a little bow on and launched it as a standalone service as Rocket Content. And so Osama was very like intrinsic. He was a very intrinsic part of that process and really helped us develop really robust systems around keyword research, around publishing, around the content creation and leveraging Jasper to our advantage. And we've come up with a really, really great process that results in massive amounts of content created that actually does rank quite well on search engines. So that's kind of the backstory. And yeah, Osama has he started off as a writer, and he has really, really, really sunk his teeth into the development of our SOPs and our process, and really refined it and fine-tuned it to what it is today. Sorry about that. So yeah, I guess that's where I'll let Osama take off with some of the training, but that's where we're at.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for that introduction. And yeah. Osama, I would love, as we get into this training, tell us your quick story. Like, how did you go from being a freelance writer to now figuring out how to be, CEO of this agency that, writes so many words per month, and you figured out how to make it high quality and get results for how many clients you all have? Like 30 to 50?
Yeah, at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Even higher than that. So cool. So yeah, kind of tell us your story and how'd you get here?
Hey, so yeah, well, it's not a really long story, but it started off a few months back. I used to work as a freelance writer on different freelancing platforms. One day, what happened was the potential co-founder of Rocket Content alongside Maddie, his name is John, who posted a job for a writer to test out content services for some of their own websites. But the catch was that I didn't have to write the content manually. I was supposed to use Jasper, and the main objective of the job was to ensure that to test out their websites in terms of whether they can use AI content to generate traffic and build their websites based on that. So yeah, I started working out as a writer. I experimented with Jasper. I used different features, a couple of recipes, some templates, some of the other features. And what happened was that it was a huge success, and it was a very a quick success. The website was growing at an exponential rate. I still remember that John messaged me a few weeks after I had begun, and he messaged me saying that, good job. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon that we're running, because the growth was consistent, and it was just really doing well for us. So at that point, I think it was decided that instead of using this for our own websites, why don't we sort of mix it together and come up with a service that can help others around us as well to sort of help regulate their old or new domains that had little to no traffic. So yeah, that's when Maddie contacted me. We had a 1 hour meeting where we discussed the details, and yeah, that's how Rocket Content came into being. The rest has been history. It's been amazing so far, the journey. We've received so many feedback, so much wonderful feedback from our clients whom we've helped sort of give their websites a boost of traffic. So essentially converting their old and dead domains into money-making sites.